Hello friends, I am homeopath R.S. Saini and today I am coming to you with the case of psoriasis. Very bad case of psoriasis on the body of a 43-year-old male who presented his complaints. I am going to read. That patient was referred to me by one of my old patients. This man is suffering with psoriasis on hands, arms, and legs, particularly on the shin bone area, which is extending to his thighs also, his abdomen and upper torso, and behind the ears also. The lesions are very red and thick. The skin is popped up all over on the affected areas. His condition was very bad. He had lot of anxiety, which was seen writ large on his face. The patient is working on work permit here in Canada and doesn't have a proper status. He doesn't have a family doctor also, because only those have the benefit of visiting a doctor or having a family doctor who are having permanent status. As soon as he comes to my clinic, what he does immediately, he spreads his hands in front of me, both on the upper side, palm side, and on the back of the hands, and he shows me the lesions. And he seems to be so anxious about it that he starts saying that it's a huge problem for me, doctor, and I'm suffering with this since long. Such lesions are on my other parts of the body as well. This is a huge problem for me. और सबसे बड़ी बात यह है, he told me in Hindi, कि ये बीमारी जो है बढ़ी जा रही है. He shows me all the areas and says that I am suffering with this problem so intensely and so badly that on one hand is my work and on other hand is my anxiety about not getting my papers. कितने समय से पेपर मेरे लगे हुए हैं, गवर्नमेंट से कोई डिसीजन अभी नहीं आया है. He was worried about that also. When I asked him, since when you are suffering with this problem, he thinks a little bit before replying and then says maybe 1 or 2 years or maybe not. I asked him about his concern for this suffering of his. He says body खराब हो गई है, और खराब ना हो जाए. I have no family doctor, as I told you earlier, so he could not seek any medical treatment also. What he was doing, applying certain topical ointments only, from managing from here and there. मेरे पेपर्स भी इतना समय हो गया है, पक्के पेपर नहीं आए हैं. When I ask him, what do you think about your skin? He says कि ये बहुत बुरी लगती है देखने में मेरे को, और मेरे को हाइजीन अच्छा नहीं लगता इसका, मेरी स्किन को देखते हुए. सो उसकी इस प्रॉब्लम से के वर्षन से मैंने सोचा how to just make the lineage of this case in my mind so that I can understand the various stages and various causes also which are working on his mental emotional plane and are affecting his physical body also. So his presenting complaint, as you know, is the extensive psoriasis involving his hands, legs, localized significantly over the shins and extending to his thighs, abdomen, torso, and even to the ear also. Here at the retro-auricular area, behind the ears. Physical observations were that the lesions were thickened, they were red, and had elevated plaques. When we see the severity of his suffering, the condition was categorized as very severe, with lesions covering multiple anatomical regions of the body. For the analysis of the case and for peeping into his mind, the patient exhibited a lot of anxiety and distress regarding his physical appearance as well, and his socio-political status in Canada, because उसके पक्के पेपर बन के नहीं आ रहे थे, उसको भी काफ़ी समय लग गया था. This is all a political realm subject which the political government in place has to decide. What was my observation? Upon entering the clinic, the patient immediately displayed his hands, emphasizing the severity of his lesions and suffering. His primary concern was the aesthetic, the very looks of his skin, which he said is bad and unhygienic. There were stresses also on his mind. The situational stress, amongst other stresses, was since he was currently in Canada and was on a work permit, he expressed deep-seated anxiety connected with his permanent status in Canada. He said कि इतना टाइम हो गया मेरे पक्के पेपर ही अभी तक नहीं बन पाए. उसका जो कम्युनिकेशन स्टाइल था, when I questioned him about the onset, he kept quiet a little bit, and after thinking, having a pause, he said maybe 1 or 2 years, maybe not. So he was focusing entirely on his physical manifestation, and that was his main problem. I came up with certain rubrics which I have already shared with the HSH and Ignited Minds and on ASRH platform on Telegram portfolio. And those rubrics, how I took those rubrics, I am going to explain it for your understanding. When he comes to me, and immediately after reaching in my clinic, he just shows me his hands. What was that? That was his abrupt action. And then he says कि बहुत टाइम हो गया है, पेपर्स को भी बहुत टाइम हो गया है और इस सफरिंग को भी बहुत टाइम हो गया है. He was speaking of extravagance, समय बहुत ज़्यादा लग गया है. And when he was saying मेरी स्किन बैड लगती है, अनहाइजीनिक लगती है, the rubric is delusion unpleasant. And when he says कि ये और ख़राब हो गई है, आगे और बढ़ गई है, so that means he is thinking about the territory, a territory which has already been captured by the enemy. So what is the territory here? Territory is his body. What is the enemy? The enemy is the suffering, the skin, the psoriasis, the psoriatic flakes and the patches. He is under the impression that this territory of my body will also be captured. The whatever is remaining, that will also be coming under its capture. So the rubric for that was delusion, injury will receive. And when he says कि body ऐसे हालात हो गए हैं, बढ़ती जा रही है, वहाँ उसको क्या लग रहा है? उसको लग रहा है कि जो चीज़ें हैं वो ऑर्डर में नहीं रही हैं, डिसऑर्डर्ड things seem. Like this, I formed the rubrics, and then the remedy which came in the forefront was opium. I gave one single dose in 30 potency and asked the patient to come after 15 days. While taking up the case, I also asked him, tell me which part of the body was affected last of all, and where did these eruptions appear in the first instance. He told me that it started from the hands, and the last of all were my legs on the shin area which were affected. When he comes after 15 days, his skin on the shin area of his leg was showing very nice. The original color of the skin was popping up. He was also very encouraged. So I told him to come after another 15 days and gave him a dose of placebo. When he comes on the second visit, he reports that his abdomen area is also cleared, and he showed it to me, and it was really satisfying to see his progress. Then again, placebo was given, and he was advised to come after 15 days for the follow-up. He comes on the third visit and shows his areas which were really cleaned up. Here, we also see that the Herring's law of cure is being followed. The eruptions which came last of all were his legs, and the clearance of the skin, the betterment on the skin, the betterment of the psoriatic patches started happening from the legs itself. After that, his abdomen became better. After that, his ear eruptions went away. And last of all, the big blebs, the big flakes which were on his hands, they got cleared up. It was really very satisfying and case of contentment for the patient and for me as well. Friends, this is the beauty of homeopathy. If we are able to understand the very suffering of the patient, the versions, the type of words the patient chooses to speak in order to explain his or her suffering, leads us to form our focused opinion which the patient is guiding us about. So this was the case, friends. I wanted to share it with you on the video so that you can gain benefit out of this case. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and press the bell icon so that all my videos which I come up with from time to time, they land in your inbox and you are notified timely, and you can get the benefit of the cases or the differentiation of remedies or differentiation of rubrics which I do from time to time. Thank you very much for listening. Thanks a lot.